Hey, good evening, YouTube's Upside DIY. I'm showing you guys kind of like what's inside of an iPhone. Right here is I got most of the stuff that I could kind of take apart and pretty much have as spare, average parts. I had to remove two little screws. I pried the screws off with a sharper screw. It was literally just a screw that I used. So I just I was thinking to maybe try to make a screwdriver that'll fit. They're really small Torxes too, but just jamming this in and then twisting the phone, I was able to unscrew the two screws, and then I just pried the screen, and then I kind of looked around. I had to look on the internet after 5 or 10 minutes and figured the screen kind of comes off. So I got to use a little razor blade and then just pried it off a little bit, and then finished it off with my hands. So most of the stuff, oh, and then I took out the SIM card, which is pretty much a slot on the side right here. There's really not much to really ooh and ah about this. I did have a charger and things. It just didn't power on. I thought this phone was originally given to me because it had a cracked screen or something like that, or having a free phone, and with today's technology with Wi-Fi, it would have been worth it. It might still be worth it to try to fix and this and that, but just to have an extra thing to give away, or just to back up some internet, just some internet use with the Wi-Fi system. But I'm guessing this, with the smartphone that I'm recording this on, is pretty much the same concept. The screen actually shows the same concepts about a backlight, which is this. So it was kind of assembled. So you take off the metal plate, or it could be a heat sink. I don't know exactly. And it's kind of coated with a semiconductor, basically, on the back to protect that part, which is pretty much a light. It's actually probably dark like this because it's kind of to make it brighter or something like that. So that came off. And this is pretty much a backlight, and that's the display. The ribbon actually has a chip or some type of there's a circuit going on there, and it basically just didn't connect, or it was supposed to be connected to the display, but then somehow I guess I broke the ribbon on it. I'm not trying to fix this phone. I have another phone for backup or something like that. But if this phone didn't have any problems, and if the charger would have help me operate this, then it would have been a pretty nice thing. It would have been worth at least $10 or $20 if it still worked and everything. Maybe $50. No, well, maybe $50 if it still worked. But it didn't charge up. The battery probably got a few leaks here and there, and it just wasn't powering on. Plus, I figured the screen was cracked, but I actually don't see the crack. But it was pretty much cracked, and I can't put things back to get this into use. So right now it's just going to be extra parts. But I also wanted to point out how all these little pieces, even this vibrating motor, I thought I could get that out, but you know, they glue certain things or these things on at certain places or something. There's even this camera. I'm not sure if I could get that off. So I don't, you know, and some of these, and this is kind of like, and right here is pretty much a ribbon that's actually a part of something that's glued. You know, and right here I got a nice small little camera, and a small LED or a flash or something. That's glued down. I can't really get that off without really having to. But look how small that camera is. I'm like, whoa. And then, you know, you got a small camera, and then it's pretty cool how small they make it, and then get it to work with you know, some of these ribbons. So that basically could be you know, and it's got a little board here, and that board actually goes, or that connector actually goes to one of these over here, and that was covered up with a metal hold down. But yeah, so basically interesting, showing you guys the backlight and then the display and stuff, and then the front you know, touch screen. I'm guessing it's pretty much a touch screen, because you know, with the LED TVs, like here's a piece of that Insignia TV. It's only the display that's in front. There's no real touch screen little piece and things like that. But yeah, not a bad video. I know it's pretty old news, and you know, people already know this stuff. So basically, yeah. So the display, you know, I personally see some type of matrix, but then I don't really see a major crack. It might be somewhere else on the other side or something. So the rest of the stuff here is like a speaker. It's like a speaker. There's a headphone jack. There's a power jack. I can't really get those off because those are connected with the glue ribbon. I might be able to really do some more. Oops, sorry. I'll probably do some more stuff to maybe expose. But there's circuits that are actually you know, insulated and just glued, and basically it's pretty tough to even repair anything wrong with these phones, because you know, there's no real way of you know, fixing it. You gotta buy the whole thing, or just get a new phone or device. Even the battery, you know, you never know. You know, you spend, you know, $30 or $40 for a decent sized battery, really nice battery. But you try to fix it yourself, and it's just like, if something goes wrong, you're stuck with the battery. Your phone's going to be out of warranty. You take it to the shop and stuff, they're going to charge probably at least $100 or even more, depending. And then they might even break it, and you still got to pay them. So you're like wasting all this time and energy for just basically, an obvious, broken situation. And it's better off just trying to find something else or cheaper, or and just moving on than, and tearing it apart and just really just figuring out you could probably get things maybe $5-10 on eBay, who knows, 99 cents, but it's not guaranteed to work. It's pretty much, you're gonna haggle and waste more time, someone else's time and money, and it's that's the only problem with the internet, and even people that always complain about everything, is, you're just wasting everybody's time and energy, and for your pain, and it's not really that, great. So, besides that, this is what you end up with, basically, some decent parts. It's not and you kind of get to see what the technology kind of is involved and pretty much used everywhere. The screen was interesting, taking it apart was interesting, having these little small parts was interesting, but everything being glued down, that kind of just settled the case, that it just settled the whole debate whether to fix or not to fix certain things with phones or electronics, period. And with all this little stuff right here, seeing the little camera and it's just only good to look at, and maybe finish taking every little small thing apart, but trying to figure out what you can and can't repair on this particular phone and model, it's time and energy consuming, but it's just interesting, just giving a lot of people a good warning about irreplaceable devices and ways to connect your plan. This was just my plan. I already kind of figured it out, and I stayed up. I don't know, I don't really, I've been trying to manage myself more grown up and things, and not really do this, all through the night. But it just, I spent nights or times where, I didn't do anything but just waste time. But right now I've got, at least something that's not what it was before. So it's pretty fun trying to make a decent channel. I needed something to kind of have on for people to check out. But right now I'm pretty much done with this. You know, I'd like to salvage a lot of the other things, but that's just gonna have to be, you know, in a few days or two. And you know, I get to keep this and that, and I really enjoy the experience. So, I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.